Hello and welcome to Reddit on Reddit, the internet's auditory version of Reddit. I'm Nelson Allingham, joined by Smelly Cambo Campbell.
Nelson, you're living your best life here. You've got a hot cup of tea this episode.
I know.
You seem so much
From
fancier.
your girlfriend. I don't need one anymore.
Isn't it
A
funny?
girlfriend. I need tea.
Isn't it funny that in all the weeks we've been here, this is the only time we've ever offered you a tea?
I know. That's what I've been waiting for.
Yeah.
I just want tea. So, Cambo, I thought I would start off with our Reddit Secret Santa.
Please.
Just as a reminder to all the listeners, if you're a new listener, just bear with us for like a few minutes.
We'll get to the real Reddit stuff in just a minute.
Yeah, so...
But this stuff will be good too.
it might. So every year, Cambo and I have done the Reddit Secret Santa.
Boo.
But boo to that, we decided that we would create a much better one.
Yay!
And by that, I mean with far less people and no celebrities whatsoever. You don't even have a chance in this one.
Or maybe there will be a celebrity.
Oh.
They don't have to know.
Yeah. Rumor has it, Hugh Jackman has signed up.
Sure, he's Australian.
Yeah. So... I
And
mean,
he'll be
that's
sending Chris Hemsworth.
He's already got the gift sorted.
Yeah.
It's just Chris.
Yeah, g'day, gotta hang out with you for a day.
Yeah.
No sex stuff, obviously.
Oh, that wasn't in the rules, so.
Back you go.
So if you would like to sign up, we've created a Google form for you to fill out online. We'll put a link in the show notes.
Yep.
If I forget to put a link in the show notes, it was in last week's show notes. So feel free to
But
do
you
that.
won't, will you?
Yeah. Also, it's currently on our social media pages,
Yep.
Facebook, Twitter. Oh crap, did I put Twitter on?
I have no idea,
don't know.
Nelson. I don't go on Twitter.
And,
Twitter's a vast wasteland.
And not many people go on Twitter. It's kind of a dead medium, isn't
But
it?
most importantly, I think it's on our subreddit.
It's on our subreddit, which is Reddit Podcast,
Yeah.
READIT Podcast.
Also, I just want to say a bit of a thank you to everyone that has signed up. We've
Thank
actually
you.
had people sign up. My biggest fear was that we would just be exchanging gifts with one another. I mean, my biggest fear is obviously dying alone. But my second biggest fear was that we would just be exchanging gifts
Right.
with each other.
What's your third biggest fear? Just while we're going down
Dying
the
with
list.
you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like to get like in a crash or something.
Something like Thelma and Louise.
Ah,
Hold hands,
okay.
go off a cliff.
Wait, so we're about to drive off a cliff, and you're like, wait.
This
This
is
is
my
my
third biggest-
third biggest fear.
Yeah.
Let's not do this.
I knew it would come to this.
Yeah. And I'll be like, it's too late. Yeah, so we'd really love you to sign up. Just some to incentivize you more. Some people that have signed up already that are pseudo, I don't know, celebrities of the show. Hazim has signed up.
Yep.
Amanda has signed up. And I was speaking to Cousin Rowan. I don't think he has yet, but he's going to.
Ooh.
So there's just a few of the and Hugh Jackman. Sorry, I forgot
Hugh
about
Jackman,
Hugh
obviously,
Jackman. We mentioned that already.
And
So
most importantly of all, you and I, Nelson, we're in there.
oh yes, we are in there. So you can do that. But let's get into Reddit on Reddit.
Please.
This first one. Now look, this first one. Okay.
Yep.
I don't want it to come across as racist.
Oh, boy.
Cambo, you might think.
Oh,
You
boy.
might think that.
Uh-huh.
But I do want to start off with saying, what the fuck, Canada?
Okay. Sure.
And Canadians in general.
Mm.
All Canadians. I'm generalizing.
We yet to have a Canadian correspondent, so someone can jump on that right now. if they
Yeah.
want.
You can write in and tell me how much of an idiot you are based on this. One. It's not racist.
I mean,
Because they're mainly white, Cambo. That's how I know it's not racist.
I mean, if you're talking about Canada's patchy racial, Justin Trudeau.
Mhm.
Does this have anything to do with Justin Trudeau?
It does not.
Okay, well, Justin Trudeau there was photos came out just recently of him in blackface during college, and he's the
Yeah,
guy that everyone's like, oh
that
my
was-
god, he's such a nice, handsome Canadian man, and even he's racist.
Blackface was fine until people said it's not fine. That's the thing, though. It definitely was fine before it was made not fine.
I don't know. There is an impressive, oppressive nature of like mocking a
No, I
subsect of
mean
society.
like I think I do mean that genuinely though. It's like, for example, there's this face on it's like a what do you call it? An emoticon, a meme thing that's used on Twitch,
Yeah.
which is like a frog.
Yeah, Pepe the Frog.
Pepe the Frog. And that was never intended to be racist. And then people said, that's now racist. So now that's racist.
Yeah, but the thing about blackface is a lot of the time, and sure, not always to your point, but a lot of the time they would accentuate parts of like the physique, like huge lips and whatnot, to kind of mock African American people, and that surely is not okay.
Sure. I mean, it's like okay, then if you go out like, oh god, this is getting onto a really bad topic, but I mean like people impersonate other people all the time and accentuate what makes them them.
I think there's a difference between a single person and an entire group of people, though. Would be my point. Anyway, what's this thing?
But why? Anyway, okay. So here is this is by user 6mon1. They said how to measure things like a Canadian. Okay, so this is a flowchart of sorts that I'm going to talk you through here.
Yeah.
The first one says, what are you measuring? Okay,
yeah.
Lots of different things to measure.
Sure.
The first one says speed, always metric. Distance, is it your height? Yes, imperial. No, is it a long distance? Yes, time. No, is it related to work? No, metric. Yes, imperial.
Okay.
So if you are traveling a short distance and you're going to work, and it's work related, use imperial. But if you're traveling a short distance and it's not work related, use metric. But there's 3 more categories, Cambo, just to make things even more confusing for you.
Sure.
Temperature. Is it for cooking? Yes. Fahrenheit.
Okay.
No. Is it the pool's temperature? It's very specific. That is a very specific question.
That is a very specific question.
Yes, it is the pool's temperature. Fahrenheit. Not the pool temperature. Celsius. So in any other time when it's not for cooking and you're not measuring a pool's temperature, it's Celsius.
So convenient if you're cooking something in a pool.
Well,
If you're boiling, so if you boil the pool
oh no,
and then cook something in the pool.
oh yeah, but okay.
Same unit of measurement.
That's-
no confusion there.
That's the
They've
same.
got that covered.
That's good actually. That's probably why.
Yeah.
That's how it came up. They were like, "This is so confusing."
Got all these eggs to boil and a huge pool.
Yeah. Okay. Mass. Is it your weight? Yes. Pounds. No. Is it heavy? Yes. Kilograms. No. Pounds.
What is
So
the
if you're-
threshold of heavy?
So, well, that's
Because
true.
you need a quantifiable amount that is now heavy that it ticks over.
Yeah. And is there a point in which that gets confusing regardless of where the point is?
Yes, this whole thing is confusing.
I mean, that's a good point. It's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
confusing. Okay. So if it's your weight, it's always in pounds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which,
yep.
by the way, to our American listeners and our Canadian listeners, bad way to do it. Kilos seem less.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, that's
my
true.
weight in kilos far less than my weight in pounds.
But when you lose weight,
Oh, yeah.
say it in pounds.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. I
yes,
weigh
you gain weight in
Yeah.
kilos and you lose weight in
I
pounds.
weigh 75 kilograms. I lost 20 pounds the other day.
The other day. Wow. You cut off an arm.
Okay. Volume. Is it for cooking? Yes. Cups and spoons. No. Metric. I feel like that's probably pretty standard most.
Yeah, I feel like cups and spoons are just a
Cups and spoons.
universal cooking thing.
But you use like mils and stuff in cooking as well.
Yeah.
Which I feel like you would use in this instance. I feel like that end one is bogus. I've just decided.
because a cup is a certain amount of milk. That's what, like,
Yeah. And we wouldn't say, well, I mean, though, but it depends what you're measuring. Because if you're putting in, they might say a cup of flour.
yeah.
We wouldn't say that in mils. We'd say that
Yeah,
flour is
yeah,
in
it's
grams.
true.
So it's
So-
like what you're
Yeah.
putting in there.
Yeah. Okay.
But we would just say cup. Because I think for that reason of confusion,
Yeah.
you can put a cup of liquid or a cup of like whatever. So I think that one makes sense. But So I thought this was really funny and stupid for so many reasons. I actually think because I feel like Canada is kind of in a unique situation, right? Because they are part of the Commonwealth. Are they still part of the Commonwealth?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
who knows?
Yeah.
They're in
yeah.
the Commonwealth Games.
They-
And if they're not a part of the Commonwealth,
they
they,
would-
need to get
Oh
the
my
hell
God.
out of the Commonwealth.
Cheaters.
The Olympic Commonwealth Games.
Yeah.
Do Americans know that exists, by the way?
I assume maybe
Just in
it's
case
been
you
passed
don't.
around.
Just in case you don't, I know the Olympics come around every 4 years, but for us in the Commonwealth, under the rule of the monarchy, every 2 years we do a secret Olympics without you.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Side story. I just remembered I had a dream that the Queen died.
Interesting.
That's all.
Queen possibly dead. Check that.
It was a weird dream. It was like I was just reading Twitter or something, or
Right.
Reddit, and people were just saying, "Oh, the Queen's dead." It's like
she's-
that's amazing.
if not, she's
Probably
bloody-
talk about that on the podcast.
If not, she's bloody close.
Yeah, well, she's been close for years. That's the thing. Anyway, yeah, they are in kind of this unique situation, but I feel like obviously they're very heavily associated with America. Obviously, just geographically very close.
And they're part of North America.
And they
Because it's kind of an America sandwich. It's, the United States of America, Canada, and then Alaska above it. So they're surrounded on all sides by these other kind of, like imperial and Fahrenheit. And
yeah, that's right. Makes it very confusing crossing the border. So they've obviously adopted some things from both, but the specific nature of each of them is very confusing. What I hate at the moment, I feel like in Australia, for some stupid reason, people started to adopt the idea of using imperial for height. I think that's one that Australians do kind of use.
Yeah.
And that confuses me and is quite annoying because, yeah, people be like, yeah, say you're 6 foot or something. I'm like, I just know I'm 178 centimeters or something.
I feel like using the feet and inches for height is a pretty commonly accepted practice, though.
Oh, I know it's accepted,
yeah.
but I just like that because outside of height, of a person, I don't know how big really a foot is. Well, I mean, I kind of know, but I would never use it at all to judge anything in distance.
It's just height.
It's just height. And even then, I could say, if somebody was like, okay, I want to say like maybe 5, like 6 to 6'6", let's say, I have an idea of their height. But anything below that or above that, I'm like, you're short or tall. But I can't visualize how short or tall that person might actually be, I think.
Oh, and all I really know is that the standard height for men seems to be 6 foot, and I know that because we're both just under 6 foot.
Yeah,
Just really annoying. We're so close, but we're not there.
Yeah, but is that a standard? I don't know.
I feel like it's almost the stock standard. It's like that guy brown hair 6 foot high. Like it's the kind of the average. If someone's over 6 foot, okay, they're tall. Someone's under 6 foot, okay, they're a bit short.
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Actually, you're right. That's probably how I judge it a little bit more. Yeah. It is from the 6 foot point. And are you a little bit taller than that or a little bit shorter than that?
Like the difference between 5'11" and 6 foot sounds really like mentally, you're like, well, 6 foot, that's pretty tall.
Yeah.
5'11", what are they? What are they, 4 foot?
Yeah. There's always these memes on Reddit where, or I think Tinder in particular related, where on Tinder, if you're a 5'11" guy, and there's a 6 foot girl, and it shows like cartoon characters. One's really small and one's really tall. But what? So I think the point of this was Canadians are idiots. Is that what I'm saying?
I think it was.
I think Canadians are idiots.
Yeah.
And Justin Trudeau is a racist.
Albeit a very handsome racist.
Very handsome.
We agree.
I'd
very
still
handsome.
vote for him. Better than what we got going on.
That's
honestly.
true. Yeah. Australia is not without its racial problems. And they say, what is it? The first man without sin to cast a stone. We can't be casting no stones. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Just if anyone's unaware, just look up, but also don't look up the party One Nation here.
Yeah.
Oh, they're pretty wild.
Yeah. They do not like colored people.
Oh, no.
All right, Campo, let's get into Ask Reddit. Ask Reddit. This Ask Reddit is by Reddit is my Google,
No.
which is funny because the search function on Reddit is notoriously bad.
Yeah, terrible.
It's really bad. It is. Reddit is your news, I would accept. Google, no.
Though I will say, when Googling something, if you want a specific kind of answer, say you're looking up, like you're looking at advice for something, like how to reset your computer.
Yeah.
You Google how to reset your computer or how to reset your computer, Reddit.
Yeah.
The results are very different.
Reddit on Reddit podcast because we do advice, Cambo.
Yeah.
That's where they would come.
Yeah.
Maybe we haven't answered that specific question yet.
We're
but
getting to it.
We'll get around to it. Okay. If retirement, that's in quotation marks, in the future means you donate your body and organs at age 40, but will be kept alive artificially in a perfect simulated environment where you live worry-free, would you do it? Why and why not?
No. I don't think if you really came to it down to it, I don't think many people would. In fact, there was a thought experiment a couple of years ago, very similar to this. I don't want to say that they ripped it off, but I mean, it seems like they kind of ripped it off.
Yeah.
And it was the idea of if you could live your life in a simulation, and in the simulation you were unaware it was a simulation, you had the best life ever.
Yep.
Would you do it? And the experiment came out that 90% of people wouldn't.
Yep.
Because even though you wouldn't know it's a simulation, there's something about it that doesn't ring true to you, like your judgment to even do that, knowing that you're fooling yourself, is kind of going counter to people's normal instincts.
Yes, right. I admit when I very first read this, my knee-jerk reaction was like, that is insane. I was like, age 40, that's so young.
Yeah.
I'm almost there. And so I just thought, that's stupid. Why would anybody do this? And then I started thinking about it a little bit more, and I was like, why would anybody not do this? Because what is really life? Like honestly, what I know this goes like way deeper, but what is life if not to kind of like, like just experience it, I guess. And if you are simulating an experienced life, then is that not, I mean, for example, just to go a bit crazy out of the box here, we could be in a simulation.
Yeah.
So then are we saying right now that this is not feasible? Because we sort of don't know that we're not in a simulation. So we're saying that if this right now is unfulfilling, because I imagine that if I went into this artificially perfectly simulated world, we'd be doing the podcast.
Yeah.
And I would be having the same experiences.
In any world, in any reality, we're doing the podcast.
We're doing the podcast. Yeah. Even in hell.
Even in hell.
Because sometimes
they make us.
Yeah.
The difference is the one in hell is edited.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, we
It's
do the
edited.
episode.
There's timestamps in the description.
Oh,
boy.
the worst.
For you guys, it's much better. But for us, it's absolute hell.
Yeah. It's your heaven.
There's not even any fire or brimstone. It's the same room.
Yeah.
You just have to edit the podcast. But yeah, like I guess to your point, are you saying that even if we are living in a simulation now, we still feel pain and pleasure and emotion, and so that is living.
I
Like,
think
that's
the
what living
difference is I wouldn't run out of petrol.
Yeah. So
Because that's annoying.
but
Wait, I don't think I've ever run out of petrol. Oh my God. Might be in a simulation. Yeah, because
everything's glitching. But I suppose what you're asking is living physical living, or is it your emotions and your experiences? And stuff
that
like
is such a great point to put it in. That's probably the smartest thing you've ever said, Cambo, ever. Is there a physical element to living when everything is controlled through our minds? Even like we need our mind to, is this the stupidest thing I've said? Our mind to feel the sensations of our physical body, physical cells. So if that is all just being simulated anyway,
Yep.
because you literally could,
Well,
then
here's an interesting thought for you then, because I would agree that living is your experience and whatnot. And the flip side of this is when someone's in like a vegetative state in which they don't have brain activity, but they are still physically alive.
yep.
And are they like what is that technically kind of dead because your brain's dead, therefore your body doesn't do anything, but your body is still alive?
Yeah.
Which
I mean-
which of those is more alive? The person who's physically still alive but
Yeah.
no brain activity, or the
Yeah.
person who isn't physically still alive but has brain activity?
Yes, I would say the person who just has physical activity.
I'd
The
say the
vegetative
doctor
state,
that's looking after them, they've got both.
they
They're the most alive.
they are the most alive because they could
Obviously, the most
use
alive
them as puppets.
the most alive man in the world is Tom Cruise. He seems so alive.
He
So
is.
it was like, woo, yeah, come on.
Yeah,
I'm gonna hang off a plane.
he jumped off that couch once.
Yeah.
On that couch once. That was
Yeah.
pretty nuts. Because I think, I mean, I've thought previously that if my brain is dead, if I'm in a vegetative state, I don't really want to be alive anymore. That does not seem like living at all. And I think the opposite of that is literally this idea of living in a simulated world. Like the very extremes is like just in your mind. And I feel like that is, because you could even simulate, because I think, okay, if you're saying real versus simulated is real, I think the difference is maybe relationships with people, right? So there's two things. One is like, could we all be in the same simulated world, in which case we can still interact with each other in our own free will? That might come up later on in the show.
Okay.
Or can it be simulated in a way that it doesn't matter, that the interactions I'm having with people aren't real because it's just simulated to a point that it feels real, and that's enough. See, I think that maybe is at the point where it tips over, because I think humans just very social like creatures, and I think that if you're in a simulated world that for one was like devoid of people completely, then I think that's not obviously worth living. Like I think but humans naturally need that.
Yeah.
And then two, is it simulated with people where the interactions are totally genuine and you couldn't figure out that it was fake? And I think that one's kind of like interesting and borderline. I think I'm still more on the side of I would be happy to do that, because if it's simulated enough to be fake, then fine. But then maybe, like I feel like there's a scale there where it's like in the Rick and Morty episode where they're in the simulations.
Yeah.
And they just like occasionally there's like bread living in a toaster or something. I don't know. So just like things that are a little bit off. I think if that happened enough, then again, that would be like, it needs to be very super realistic.
And it could be like, if this is a simulation, there could be something akin to that Rick and Morty episode where we wake up from this simulation. They're like, oh, we got it wrong. Dogs are the owners and humans are the pets. We got that opposite. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you must be real confused.
yeah. This world is not going to make sense to you. So I don't know. I just think there's like an interesting line there. But I think that ultimately, if somebody said to me, hey, we're going to put you in a simulation, it's going to feel like you have not left the current day world.
And remember, you're 40 now, so your life is over.
And I'm so basically close to death.
You get out of your little wheelchair and go, oh, okay.
But I think I would do it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I still don't know if I would. I think there's something about the finality of life that, like living forever, theoretically seems good, but I don't know if there's actually I think there's like a beauty in life being kind of short and finite as well.
Yes,
Plus
but also true. But also, I
fucking wanna
think part
die
of
all the time.
all
Oh,
the
God.
time we're millennials. But okay, here's another point that I just thought of.
Okay.
It's turning into a long ass Reddit.
Yep.
But that concept, I think, partly because I don't like the idea of living forever, but that's often becomes part of the fact that your brain deteriorates and your body deteriorates. And so I don't want to be like some drooling kind of person
40-year-old, yeah.
that has to, that has to have people look after them all the time.
Right.
Like, I don't really see that as being a joyous part of life.
Uh-huh.
But if I'm in a simulation where
Yeah, could you keep your brain function at 100% until the end?
Yeah.
If there was an end date to the simulation as well.
yeah, okay.
I don't want to do it forever. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
yeah. Till you're 45.
Yeah.
That's real old. Okay, let's do another one.
Oh, are you sure?
Come on. Nah, let's move on to Today I Learned. So now it's time for Today I Learned. Today I Learned. And also sometimes it might. I've decided recently that the cut in that music is terrible.
Oh, don't get me wrong, Nelson.
I'm not saying you intentionally did.
No, I did intentionally do that.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
You weren't intentionally
Because
trying to make it a smooth thing.
Just in case people don't realize, but I have the backing track to the original Today I Learned. I could have chosen the same backing track, but I think it's way funnier if it's very clearly pasted on.
It's very. I go to start again, and I'm like, oh no, this is. I forget there's a very jarring segment between Today I Learned and advice. Okay,
Just like there is in this segment.
Yeah.
Where you've just put a different segment in it.
That's true. Okay, I wanted to mention this one, but maybe we won't talk about it for that long because we did last week. I just thought it was funny that it came up in Today I Learned. This is by 1C9. Today I learned that a white elephant gift exchange gets its name from the legend of the King of Siam, gifting rare albino elephants to those who displeased him in hopes that the upkeep costs would financially ruin them. It's like exactly what we spoke about last week with the horses.
The passive aggressive gift, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I just thought it was so funny that somebody really did. Some rich king actually did this. Surely, wouldn't you think that at a certain point you're like, "Whoa, this is getting a bit too tough to keep, the upkeep cost is too much, so kill the elephant."
Then you got elephant meat for weeks.
You've got so much elephant meat.
But also, in fact, we didn't mention this last week, but there is a case of this happening by accident, which is on the Oprah Winfrey. Almost got her name out. Oprah Winfrey show.
Yeah.
She gave away a car to everyone in the audience, but then they all had to pay tax on the car.
Yeah.
So while they were getting a free car, some of them couldn't actually afford to pay the tax on the car.
Yeah.
And it actually made them worse off financially.
Yeah.
Which is like, again, she didn't intend that.
Yeah.
But it is that idea of like, you give something that seemingly seems really nice, but then there are all these like additional hidden costs that you haven't accounted for.
Yeah. I think we discussed though that you could still sell the car and be better off. So
It just becomes a hassle to do, I guess.
So then,
Like in
do you think
the short term, you lose money, but yeah, you would gain in the long term.
Yeah. Do you think that you could sell an albino elephant to somebody?
Yep.
With conviction that it wouldn't cost them heaps of money to financially upkeep?
Nelson, if there's one thing that we do on this show, it's scam people constantly.
Okay.
Is that the ultimate challenge?
Yeah.
People, like, they talk about the white whale, like the Moby Dick metaphor, but is ours the white elephant?
The white elephant.
If we can sell an albino elephant to someone without them getting suspicious of all the additional costs that it will take,
yeah.
have we done it? Does the show shut down?
I think that's it.
We've done the white elephant.
I think because if I was going to sell a white elephant to somebody, first of all, paint it. Because I'm assuming that is maybe part of a heftier upkeep cost. Like maybe you need it to be more like shielded from the sun or something like that. Or so
also
paint it first.
Maybe if you put ads online, black and white.
Oh, great!
I feel like
mean, it would still come out.
It would
as
still stand
white.
out, but I still think it would be less obvious.
I think it would.
Because they're great.
They're
anyway,
great. Yeah.
It's funny. In the same show that I said the smartest thing I've ever said, I've also said the dumbest thing I've ever said.
But
But at least, if nothing else, it'll hide the red eyes.
Yeah.
Or
Good-
maybe you can blame it
good
on the camera.
Yeah.
Sometimes
see?
camera give you the red eye.
That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
And well, don't they often? Can't albino people quite often have very light blue eyes anyway?
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah. So.
Oh my god. I've done it twice.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Anyway, so okay, we're just gonna sell an elephant. Is what we're talking about. Okay. All right. Let's do another one here.
Yep.
This is an advice. This is by Nightstar 998. She said, "How do I dump a friend, but make sure she has nothing against me?" So this is ending a friendship, but they don't want it to end poorly. I sort of read this, but it was really long, so I'm just gonna summarize it from memory for you.
Good.
Which is that she has a group of friends.
Yep.
This one friend makes other friends in the group uncomfortable, sometimes says things hurtful, but maybe not really intentionally
doesn't
doing
realize that they're hurting people. I
it. Yeah. And just not a good fit for the group. So wants to end the friendship.
Okay, how do you break up with a friend?
Buy them an elephant, can be.
Here's one.
And they're financially ruined. Then you go out to expensive lunches. What are they going to do?
Oh my god. You could. People always say, like, I guess the cliche is that when someone gets married, that their friends kind of drop off. But you don't want to lose your other friends, so you need to get them married.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. And maybe have a kid. Get married and have a kid.
Knocked up. Okay. This is good.
Yeah.
Now,
Because then they wouldn't resent you, would they? They got the love of their life and a
love
newborn.
of their life. The problem could be possibly finding the true love of this person who is notoriously mean.
Small wrinkle, I grant you.
Yeah. They are kind of the worst
Because
person.
either you need to go through a lot of people and find someone compatible, or there is pretty extenuating ongoing upkeep costs
Yeah.
for this relationship.
Yeah, that's true. How about we match her with Justin Trudeau?
Sure.
He's a racist, so he probably loves
Mean things.
mean things. He's married, but that wouldn't stop him, would
No
it?
one's loving it. If we know anything about Justin Trudeau and we only know one thing
We,
about him,
we've learned this one thing, and now we know. We know everything about him. He's a dick.
yeah.
Scum of the universe. Anyway, okay. It's a good starting point. I like it. Are we not resorting to murder?
We could murder them.
Okay.
Obviously, we could
All right.
murder them,
I just wanted to say
But
that
they would resent you,
well,
albeit briefly, as the knife comes down.
briefly. Yeah.
But there would be some resentment.
Yeah.
They were like, "Oh, you're a bit of a dick."
You know what? Stab him from behind. Don't know who it is.
That's good. Or sniper rifle.
Sniper rifle, real
I'll
long
never
distance
see
away.
it coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll see a slight flash in the distance.
Yeah.
And it's black.
Yeah. Okay, so that's. Have we solved it?
Yeah. There's two
I
options.
think-
There's a lethal and non-lethal.
Yeah.
One does have extenuating ongoing costs, though. Remember that.
Yeah. Have you ever had to break up a friendship, perhaps?
No. Not like there are people that, because especially in high school, you kind of have friendship groups.
Yeah.
There's people in the groups that I liked less.
Mm-hmm.
But once you're out of high school,
Yeah.
you just don't see them.
You just don't see them.
Yeah.
That's very true. Yeah, I feel like
Like I think maybe if it was ongoing, maybe I would have had to. But I think at the time I was like, I'll just wait this out.
I think I want to say as a guy, I think it's a lot easier because I think guys, you don't have a friendship unless you make the friendship.
Yeah.
And that is to say that guys will just inherently not catch up with each other.
Yeah.
Unless somebody instigates the catch up.
I also
I think that if you're not really interested in catching up with somebody, you just sort of don't.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I'll-
that's how the friendship ends.
Also, I think inherently guys don't look into things much.
Yeah.
So if I said to you, "Do you want to hang out?" and you're like, "Nah," I'm like, "Oh, well, I won't look into it."
yeah. And then I probably won't ask again.
Yeah, yeah.
As well, just
Yeah.
in case he says no again.
Yeah.
That'd be real embarrassing. I think, yeah, so I think that's a advantage for being a guy. But I also think that in high school, not that I super recommend this, but I bullied one guy a lot.
my God.
Me and my friends.
So you said not that you'd super recommend it, but you'd recommend it a bit.
A little bit. Because it was no, it wasn't even effective actually. Come to think of it, he still tried to like befriend us.
Right.
It was this really weird circumstance. Like I feel sorry for the guy now that I've gotten older and wiser, and I realize how mean it was.
You're almost at 40.
Almost at 40, end of my life. No, I was even talking to a friend about this the other day. I was like, we were pretty mean to that guy. He was like, yeah, but he's doing fine now.
Yeah,
I learned, so
I
that's
think-
good.
I think bullying. This is. I'm a hero. I
Yeah.
think bullying is quite bad.
Oh,
But the only way that I think bullying
you
ever
should put that
worked-
on Change My View.
Yeah, yeah.
I think bullying is
Well-
quite bad.
Well, I think there's only one circumstance in which bullying has worked. And it seems to be that they changed the design of Sonic in that new Sonic movie.
That worked.
and
They-
everyone's like, good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm glad we all bullied you. But I mean, they changed it, and the people that bullied them are not, they're still not going to see it.
yeah. But yeah, in this circumstance, I actually feel like okay, we definitely bullied this kid, but I don't feel like it wasn't like constantly and all the time and like brought him to tears or anything.
Oh, so
it
he
was
should
just
be-
kind of like we'd sort of ignore him and not really like include him in stuff because we didn't want to be his friend.
Right.
And he wasn't getting the guy code of just getting it.
Right.
Because that was a difficult situation. In fact, I could have used advice around that time.
Yeah, well, if only you had have come to us.
Yeah, I just defaulted to bullying. But yes, and I don't know. I was gonna say something else.
No. Well, how about we just move on
It's
to
gone. This is one of those times where we'd edit that bit out. In hell. Let's get into shower thoughts.
Shower thoughts, 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 shower thoughts, 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 shower thoughts, 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 shower thoughts, thoughts, thoughts.
This shower thought is by Just Joshing You. If Eminem's mum wanted to, she could probably make a good amount of money selling her own spaghetti sauce.
Yeah, that's true. And you just need to relabel a spaghetti sauce. Like she
Yeah.
wouldn't even have to go into the production side of it, I think. I think she could just pair with like Domino's or something like that
Yeah.
and be like, this is it. Like, I think this is such an easy win for her that she's ridiculous for not doing it.
Okay.
Though, I mean, famously, he feuded with his mother for many years.
Yeah. That's...
So maybe that would have been a good get back. Being like, he's calling her out in songs, but she's still making money off him.
got so much money from that spaghetti
Kind
sauce.
of like, are you aware of the real Kramer in New York City?
Yeah.
So essentially, like, they wrote the character of Kramer on Seinfeld based on this, like, annoying neighbor that Jerry used to have,
Yep.
kind of to almost, like, mock him. I'm like, bullying.
Yeah.
Your favorite thing, bullying.
Everybody does it.
Yeah. But he's now cashing hugely because he runs Seinfeld tours with the real Kramer.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
yeah, they may have, like, kind of poked fun at him.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm sure he's not doing as well as Jerry Seinfeld, but he's, like, made a living off that now.
Didn't they put him in the episode where they're getting characters to play each other? And I think the real Kramer plays Kramer.
Oh, really?
Doesn't
I
I
don't
think
know.
so. Maybe I just made that up. Okay. Be interesting fact though, wouldn't it?
Interesting if true.
But here's my problem with this.
Mm-hmm.
He's vomited up his mum's spaghetti sauce.
That's true.
Sure, the song implies that it's due to nerves. I think rubbish spaghetti
Yeah.
sauce.
Yeah.
He's like,
If-
boy, that was disgusting.
If his mum's spaghetti was so good,
yeah.
even doesn't matter how nervous he was. That would have stayed down.
That exactly.
Because you vomit the garbage.
You vomit the garbage. It was probably like mayonnaise with bolognese sauce.
But also,
Disgusting.
he said mum's spaghetti, not mum's spaghetti sauce. Maybe she's making the pasta.
She just put in the pasta. No sauce. That's even worse.
You'd vomit that up.
You'd vomit that up. Got no flavor. Can you vomit something up because it has no flavor? Probably not. But anyway, just something to think about, I guess. Here's another one. This is by Darn Technology. It's too bad milk doesn't stain your teeth white.
Yeah, that is kind of annoying, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because what do you think of people with teeth that are too white?
I used to think it was super off-putting. Now I sort of think that it's okay. I think it's like a good thing. I used to be like, whoa, this person's teeth are way too white. But I think that after you get over that fact, then they're just like a normal person.
Do you think that there's more social pressure on people with bigger teeth? Because I think for us, I think we both have kind of small teeth. They call us the small teeth duo.
Do we have small teeth?
Or like compare it, like you get people that have quite big teeth.
You know what I think the difference is? And I don't know, maybe I've just not been very observant, but I think people all have basically the same size teeth, but people have different size gums.
And lips as well. Yeah, I have quite big lips.
Yeah,
so maybe my lips just cover more of my huge teeth.
Yeah, huge teeth. Yeah. Or I think your gums. Because some people can be very
gummy.
gummy.
Because I'm looking at your mouth now, and at the moment your lip is covering a lot of your teeth. But then when you open your mouth wider, then it's the gum. Yeah. So I think it's a combination of both. Like gum size, lip size, and so you're thinking that the teeth size is somewhat standard.
I reckon that teeth size seems pretty standard.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've never really thought about that before.
Yeah. And just in case people are wondering, we're not dentists.
We
gave that up many
we
years
could
ago.
be. We could be, because what kind of a profession is that? Am I right?
We could
be a real doctor. But yeah. Okay. Here's another one. This is by V Styling. Once you reach a certain level of fame, you can autograph $1 and make it worth more, effectively generating infinite money.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God.
Now, Cameron, I'm not saying that we are famous,
No.
but are we a certain level of fame?
No.
Damn. Like, I'm wondering, okay, we don't have dollar bills in Australia. Much harder to sign a dollar coin.
Yeah.
But let's start with $5.
Sure,
$5 note.
That's our smallest note.
Could we sell it for $5 and a cent?
The other problem is, no, it's not too much of a problem, but like American money is paper. So I think Australian money is kind of this like hybrid plastic.
Yeah.
And I wonder if signatures will eventually come off that.
I think if you get
Like a Sharpie or something.
Yeah, the right type of
pen,
pen, you can.
We'll need to investigate that.
Yeah. And there's an expense.
Yeah. Also, ours has like a clear plastic window that would probably need to avoid. So our area is a little smaller. But at what level of fame does signing the money make it more valuable? Because I think there's like a certain celebrity that you'd still just be destroying money.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying? So like Tom Cruise, say, signed your $1, you could probably sell that for $5.
Yeah.
But
For $5? Okay, here's another question.
yeah,
What's the most money you think?
You could sell it.
Which celebrity could make the most money by signing a $1 bill?
Here's what you got to do. You got to take the $1 bill to the Queen, maybe people that they're getting up there.
Yeah.
Because signatures go up in value a lot.
Yeah.
So if we were clever, and we're not, because I said that thing about the black and white photo.
Yeah.
I mean, and this is going to be in poor taste. I warn you now. If we had been clever, we would have taken a couple of dollar bills to Stan Lee, say.
Yeah.
Get him to sign those.
Yeah.
Sure, they may have gone for $4 or $5 while he was alive,
Oh,
but then they would have gone up even more after his death.
when he's dead.
Yep.
At least $6.
So I think we would need to target old, very famous celebrities.
Okay.
Problem is, a little bit in short supply.
You know what I'm
Because
thinking?
if you go after like a heartthrob, like a Hollywood heartthrob at the moment, like Timothée Chalamet from Call Me by Name,
Yeah.
he's got so much life left to live.
Yeah.
We'll be waiting so long.
Okay.
And what if he
Here's
ends up
what I'm
like a Harvey
thinking.
Weinstein?
What's his name? Timothy
Chalamet.
Timothy Chalamet. You go up to Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah.
Ask him to sign the dollar bill.
Yeah.
As he's signing it, I come up from behind him and blam, blam, blam.
Right.
Shoot him. Blood on the note with the signature. Cut down in his prime, Cambo.
Yeah.
That dollar bill is going for millions.
I mean, this is what happened
It
to
has
John.
his death blood on it.
This is very similar to what happened to John Lennon. Before he was shot, he actually gave an autograph.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And presumably that became the last autograph he ever gave.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is you're inspired by the death of John Lennon
I'm
to kill more celebrities immediately after they give you their autograph.
I'm just saying, if we're talking hypothetically, and also if I'm in financial trouble one day, that is a way to increase.
So how much do you think we could get for a $1 bill signed by and splattered on by Timothy Chalamet?
I don't really know that
Chris, the
guy
problem
very
is-
well,
the
to
problem
be
is-
honest.
the,
So
the problem is, it says this could become like an ongoing but we would need to keep doing that. So that's a one-off.
Yeah.
There's only so many times we can kill someone.
Do you reckon the police would eventually like step in? Some sort of federal, body would step in and be like, "It is now illegal to sell." It's like blood splattered, but then Cambo just goes up in price on the black market. In fact, that's what we want to happen.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think we should do this. I mean, I really wanted to know how much money you think we could get
For
signing
our
it.
signature.
But is it still worth the $1, or have we just then ruined $1? And it's actually worth less.
The problem is-
Somebody goes to pay with the $1, and they're like, no.
The
This is ruined. You'll have to throw it in the bin.
the problem is that value is in the eye of the beholder, right?
Yeah.
So it depends. A listener of this show, we might get $1.50 for our $1 if we sign it.
Yeah.
And then to anyone else, we've ruined $1. See
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah. But what if
We sell a $1.50 to everyone that
I
listens.
also shot you, Cam?
Yeah, that's good.
And there was
Yeah. Question. Email in about this.
Yeah.
redditpodcast@gmail.com. How much would you pay for a $1 bill signed by and blood splattered by me?
Yeah.
It's the last thing I ever signed.
last thing you ever signed. Yeah, that's a pretty good deal because I'd get the money.
Yeah.
Please write in. Let me know how much.
Best offer.
If the price is right. Okay, here's one last one.
Okay.
This is by Johnny Broadsword. Everyone can be a sword swallower at least once.
Yeah, it's similar to, I remember I was watching a show once and they were being shown how to search for old landmines.
Yeah.
The guy was telling him a technique and he's like, you need to kind of go under the landmine. It's like, so when you're digging into the ground, you need to kind of dig kind of diagonally.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you can just go straight down. It's like, you dig diagonally, you'll find many. You dig straight down, you'll find just one.
Yeah.
It's like that same kind of wisdom of like, well, anyone can do that once. you know?
Yeah. It's made me really not value as much any sword swallowers now
Did
that
you
I think
ever
about
value
it.
them before? It's the
now
kind
that I
of
think
talent
about it.
where you're like, I guess technically that's impressive,
Yeah.
but I have questions.
You've yeah, but and the main one, why?
Yeah, because I think sometimes I'm impressed by something if I'm like, oh, I wish I could do that. I've never wished I could swallow a sword.
That is a good point.
Yeah.
And now that I know anyone can do it, it's even less impressive. The only impressive thing is really, I could say for the same reason, it doesn't really interest me. I've never seen a sword swallower do it twice. So even then, I would have to go out of my way to find the same sword swallower and for them to do it again and me to be like, okay, I guess that's impressive.
Yeah, seems like a lot of time and
I
commitment.
get to watching somebody swallow a sword.
An activity that you're indifferent to.
Not worth at all. All right, Cambo, let's get into podnapping.
Oh my god, I'm being podnapped!
Podnapping.
This is podnapping, where we nap a pod. We take a topic of conversation or a segment, or we create our own podnapping segments. We do them ourselves. Now, I've asked you to do yours this week because I had a bit of setup for mine.
Yep.
So I'm just going to do my setup and then we can get into yours.
Sure.
I thought that we were struggling to find a new podcast segments to do, and or even sort of topic of conversation we found can be boring. You need to find the right one. And I had started making up my own segments that I think went off without a hitch, such as surprise interview.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I think we got the most amount of emails we've ever got about
Yeah.
surprise
It literally was our most successful podnapping segment. But so I thought I'd come up with a new angle for my podnapping segments.
Yep.
I thought what makes a good podcast segment is the name.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Needs a snappy name.
Yeah.
I've come up with some names for podcast segments.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about what
It is?
that could be.
Yeah, great.
But I want you to choose one of the names that I've come up
Okay,
with.
yeah, great.
And then I will come up with the segment.
Yeah, great. This is the
Okay.
best way to do this.
Yeah, okay, good.
Because we came up with Reddit on Reddit, and then we're like, I guess it's about Reddit.
Yeah, I guess that's it. It just kind of rolled off the tongue, and it just conveniently there's a website called Reddit. So here it is. So you can choose on this week, and then I thought if the listeners can send in what they want me to do the week after.
Right.
When it's my week
And maybe
again.
we can put up a poll somewhere as well, maybe.
Or we could put up a poll. Or I'm thinking if a listener has a fun name for a podcast segment,
Great.
then I could also maybe select one of those. Okay, so this is what I've got so far. I've only got 5, so you have to choose one of these. Okay, you'll see that I've gone with either like puns or things that exist, but I've changed them slightly. Because again, it's all about a snappy name.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the good thing is, to get this going for the future,
Yeah.
we can do all of these again, but drunk.
But drunk. It's double the content, Camber. Okay, the first one is called Here's a Blank, There's a Blank, Everywhere's a Blank Blank. Okay?
Yep.
That's not one. Number 2, Umbrella, I hardly knew her. Number 3, What's the crime, Mr. Wolf?
Yeah.
Number 4, Stop or Pop.
Stop on pop. Okay. Yep.
Number 5, Petal to the Metal.
Petal as in flower petal.
Maybe. Does it have another meaning? I don't know.
Yeah,
I might
yeah,
find
yeah,
out.
yeah,
I might find out.
I definitely want umbrella. I hardly knew it.
Honestly, I was very close to taking that one out.
I looked very much forward to how you incorporate an umbrella, a very physical object, into an audio medium.
Oh, God. I don't know. I definitely should have taken that one out. Okay, you have chosen Umbrella. I hardly knew her.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. All right. I will, next week, come up with that one.
Yeah. But yeah, write in if you want Nelson to do another one of those segments.
Yeah.
What's the crime Mr. Wolf does it also interest me. So
What's the crime, Mr. Wolf?
Yeah.
Interesting. Here's a blank. There's a blank.
Everywhere's
Everywhere's a blank.
blank.
What's the blank, Cambo? We don't know.
Yeah.
No one knows.
I want it to be about Mel Blanc, the guy that used to do all the Looney Tunes voices.
Could be.
Yep. Shouldn't give you ideas. Okay, so for this segment, because we haven't done podnapping in a while, and the last podnapping we did is a segment that you had invented. So I thought I would give that a go and invent my own.
Okay, yeah.
Alvin, my next podnapping is actually another podcast that I want to try.
Okay, yeah.
So it's based on a popular hashtag.
Yeah.
It goes around. I see it on Reddit. I see it on Twitter. I see it kind of everywhere.
Yeah.
And the hashtag is explain a movie badly,
Okay, yeah.
in which it's a short sentence that very badly explains the plot of a movie. And what I've got is I've got bad explanations for the movies, and I want you to tell me what movie you think it might be. I've got an
Okay.
example for you to show you how it works.
Okay.
So here's an example. This is the explanation. An interracial couple get chased by a white man with a burning cross. Now that is The Force Awakens.
Okay. Yep.
See?
I never would have got that. Let's okay.
So I've got a bunch of movies here, and they're all very, very famous movies. They're all
Okay.
movies that you would definitely
Yeah.
know, and all of our listeners would definitely know.
Okay, that's good.
But I want to see how many of these you can get, and you need. I think the further you go along, the more you will start thinking in the right mindset.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So this is explain a movie badly.
Okay.
Number 1, a white child is told that he is special and then goes to private school.
Harry Potter.
Yes, it is Harry Potter. Well
Okay.
done.
Whew.
Number 2, a miserable billionaire terrorizes a mentally ill man.
Batman?
Yeah, The Dark Knight. Well done.
Oh, bloody nailing
Yep.
these. Oh my god. Okay.
Number 3, an uncle kills the child's father, so a pig and a rat help him
What
get
the
revenge.
fuck? Okay. Okay. Sorry, start that again.
An uncle kills a child's father, so a pig and a rat help him get
Oh,
revenge.
no, this was way easier. Lion King.
The Lion King.
For some reason, that just, in my mind, that went from 0 to 100. And I was like, I need to re-listen to that. Okay, Lion King, yep.
A man's midlife crisis endangers his family and the entire city.
A man's midlife crisis. Could be. So, if it endangers the entire city, I feel like it could be something along the lines of the Hulk.
Okay.
But midlife crisis is. I feel like, I feel like it has to be in that fantasy realm for it to be endangers the city,
A
right?
man's midlife crisis endangers his family and the entire city.
Oh, his family and the entire city. And the entire city. Okay, so family. Okay, so that's definitely not the Hulk.
No.
Whose family gets in danger and the city. Oh, maybe something more like The Incredibles.
It is The
Oh
Incredibles,
my
well done.
god! That's what. Oh my god!
I knew I could see that you were starting to place it together.
I don't even know what the midlife crisis bit is about that. I actually just sort of pieced that together about more so about the family and the city
Right.
being in trouble.
Well, yeah, the
What's
whole
this?
premise is that he used to be a superhero and now he's kind of middle aged and works in an office and he wants to be a superhero again, and that starts the whole
Right.
problem.
Okay. Yeah.
This one's a bit simpler for you.
Mm-hmm.
Guy wants to bone Siri.
Oh, her.
It is her, yeah.
Yeah. Great movie.
I got a few more. A drug-crazed lunatic slowly kills children in front of their parents one by one.
A drug-crazed lunatic.
Slowly kills children in front of their parents one by one. Now, this one is explained quite badly.
Okay. I need to break this one down. I feel like drug crazed.
I think if I'm going to give you a hint,
I think. Wait. Before you give me the hint, I think the idea of killing children is not really killing children. I feel like.
I think you should focus on the children one by one aspect.
One by one. Okay.
And also, some of this is interpretation.
Oh.
This is how some people have interpreted.
Oh, okay. So it's more. Does that mean that there is a metaphorical element of this?
Slightly. It's more that it can be kind of read a few ways, and I don't think it's necessarily meant to be read like this. But there is a reading, you can see it that way.
Okay. Oh.
I'm going to give you 10 more seconds, Nelson.
Okay. Read it one more time.
A drug-crazed lunatic slowly kills children in front of their parents one by one.
I give up.
That was Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, I don't think they die.
No, but the thing is,
But
a
yeah,
lot of
yeah.
people said you never see those children again. once they fall into the chocolate river or you never see them again.
How about
And
the
also
glass
they're-
elevator book?
they're-
Cambo? That
Well, that's
we've
got Charlie.
learned that turns into an insane story.
Yeah, it's
so.
true. And there's also there's a famous reading of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory in which Willy Wonka is just it's an LSD trip essentially
Right.
because
Okay.
it gets quite weird.
Yeah, that's true. The drug case thing is definitely
Yeah, like it's an interpretation people have, but
Yeah.
it's not necessarily like
Yeah.
hard and fast.
Okay.
A couple more. A disabled child is kidnapped from a father left with PTSD after his wife and children are murdered by a lethal home invasion. Would you like me to read it again?
Yes.
A disabled child is kidnapped from a father with PTSD after his wife and children are murdered in a lethal home invasion.
Oh, it's Finding Nemo.
It is Finding
yeah, yeah.
Drug-addicted girl takes advantage of mentally challenged boy for 3 decades.
Drug addicted girl.
Yeah, takes advantage of a mentally challenged boy for 3 decades. I'm starting to speed them up now.
Okay.
Drug-addicted girl takes advantage of mentally challenged boy for 3 decades. Time is running out.
I can't even think of drug addicted girl.
Well, that was Forrest Gump.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
People, she is a
Yes,
drug addict.
yes.
People take a series of naps.
People take a series of naps.
Yes.
Oh, Inception.
Correct. A legal immigrant is chased by the feds.
I don't-
That was
I
E.T..
feel- I feel like okay, yeah.
A small town doctor brings 3 people closer together.
Don't know.
That was a human centipede.
What? Oh my god.
Dad goes to pick up his daughter.
Taken.
Taken.
Yes, I knew it. I knew it.
All right, 3 more. Rich girl lets poor man freeze to death.
I was going to say The Shining, but maybe
Nope,
that's
that was Titanic.
Oh yeah, true.
A bald man teams up with other bald men to fight a bald man.
Okay, could it be? Oh no. Yeah, bald men.
Bald man teams up with other bald men to fight a bald man.
I mean, I don't know.
Okay, the answer is Fast and Furious 7, but I extend that to any Fast and Furious movie.
I mean, yeah. I don't know. I like that one as much.
A majority of them are bald.
No, like 2.
No, what are you talking about?
The Rock.
Statham, The Rock, Vin Diesel, fucking Tyrese Gibson.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of not bald people though.
Name them. Paul Walker.
Paul Walker's not bald, is he?
No, I'm saying he's the not bald
Yeah,
person
yeah,
in that
yeah.
team.
The I don't know their names.
Okay.
But like, there's quite a few female leads. They're
There's
like
one, Michelle Rodriguez.
They're like one of the black guys, the Asian guy.
Yeah, but they're
they're all-
all by that point, they're all dead.
But okay, anyway, just like
Okay, and the last one. Transported to a foreign land, a young girl kills the first person she meets, teams up with 3 strangers to kill again.
transported to a foreign land.
A young girl kills the first person she meets, then teams up with 3 strangers to kill again.
Kills the first person she meets. Oh wait, she's been transported to a foreign land.
And that's probably the bigger hint of the 2.
Okay. Can I ask for a hint in the sense, is this a animation? Or
No, but it is an older movie.
older movie? I think I'm gonna have to give up on that one.
That was The Wizard of Oz.
The Wizard of Oz. She does kill the first person she sees.
Yeah.
And teams up with other people
To kill again.
to kill again. My God,
Yeah.
that movie is just. Do you know what I saw? I watched. What's her name? Rudy.
Oh, yeah. The Renee Zellweger movie, Judy.
Judy. It is Judy.
Yeah.
Judy Garland.
Yeah, the movie's called Judy. but
Yeah.
Yeah, about Judy Garland.
That was like really. I actually didn't love the movie, to be
Me
honest.
neither.
But I thought it was interesting how like effed up her life was when she was playing.
Yeah, like diet pills and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and just like she was really abused in the filming of
Yeah.
The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
But
You would kill again, wouldn't you?
did not
Or
like
if,
that.
if they abuse you that much.
Yeah,
You'd
exactly.
team up with strangers to kill.
I'd team up with a lion, not a
Not a Tin Man.
or a scarecrow. The lion.
You get 3 lions.
Get 3. The lion's probably got lion friends. Okay. So that was podnapping.
Yes.
But now we can get into Ask Me Anything, where listeners of the show, just like you, listener, can write in and ask us anything you want.
Yeah, so I've gotten here. I thought I'd start with our subreddit, since that gets the least love out of the email in the subreddit. So let's big it up.
Sure.
We had one in our Ask Us Anything post on our subreddit.
Yep.
From GateGirl5353.
Yep.
She asks, do you ever think you go too far? Read out something and then think, this is way too vile, and then edit it out. Also, love the show.
Did we not mention earlier in the show that it would be hell? And I know it was earlier in this show. But no, I think the only times we've edited in the past have been times where the recording stuffed up a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember if I think there's only one other time where I would edit, and I'm not sure if we've done this in the past, and if we have, I think it would be like in the first year that we did it.
Yeah.
Which is where maybe we've told a story about somebody that I've been like, oh, on second
Yeah.
thoughts, maybe shouldn't put that in.
Yeah, I don't think we ever have.
Because I
though.
think that's the only circumstance really where
Yeah.
I would do that.
But also, I think that this is kind of a warts and all show. And in fact, we've had people correspond to us that don't agree with things that we've said before.
Yeah.
But I think that's good. I think that's like a healthy
Yeah.
conversation.
Earlier in the show, I kind of defended blackface.
Yeah, right in about that.
Because-
but the
yeah,
thing
okay.
is, like, we're not one above changing our minds on things anyway. It's not
Yeah.
like we're so set. But two, I think that that like difference of opinion is healthy, and if you disagree with us, or if we disagree with each other, or whatever it may be,
Yeah.
then like we will include it because we think it's worthy of being brought up, whether or not we agree with something. In fact, we used to have some questions that were written in that were really vile.
Yeah.
from listener Vin.
Yeah.
We used to constantly see.
We
how
don't
far-
hear from much of him anymore.
We used to see how far he could kind of push us, but we always did read them out eventually.
We eventually answered his questions. Yeah, I think because like there is some things about I don't know, like sort of things that maybe we go too far on. And in fact, I think probably this episode was a good example at the start. But like I find entertainment in it, and I hope other listeners find entertainment in sometimes arguing a point that is the less common opinion. And I don't necessarily always agree with sometimes things that I'm arguing on in this podcast. Like, I think it happens quite often.
Yeah, we both sometimes play devil's advocate.
Yeah. And I think that has probably been a problem in the past. Like, I think that sometimes I put out I give off a vibe of a certain view, like with I don't know, turning dogs to gold or something, that only really comes up on this podcast. And not in my normal everyday life. And I'm worried about, in fact, I've been thinking about this recently, and I think I've spoken about on the show before, if I've had a date or something, I might mention the podcast. I've decided to stop mentioning the podcast
Probably good.
until people know who I am and then listen to the podcast and realize that I'm not always... I'm not really the person that argues that blackface is okay.
So, I don't know if this is going to shatter people's illusion of Nelson, because as much as he says it in the show, in real life, it may sad, and you know, he's never murdered a dog.
I know. It upsets me.
Yeah.
I've always thought about it though, Cambo. If I was in the right place at the right time, I'd kick a puppy off a mountain, off a cliff.
Yeah.
That would be the easiest way to do it, I think. Don't you think?
Gotta find a cliff
Murdering
first.
a puppy?
Gotta find a cliff first.
Yeah. Maybe I'll just hang around cliffs more often. Then one of those things is more likely to happen. Okay.
But in short answer, no.
Yeah. We really haven't edited out anything. Really.
Because if we keep what we keep in, imagine what we had to edit out.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It'd just be hate crimes.
Yeah. We haven't edited for a really long time. Because like I said, the only time we edit is really when we stuff something. Like we've
if
had a
it's a technical
technical
issue.
difficulty. But I don't think we've had one for ages now. So thank God. Okay. Anyway, this next one is by Cousin Rowan. He asks, "Gentlemen, seems like I've got some competition with the AMAs, and I feel I am faltering as I near the 100. I am at home sick today, so I can't ask the Oracle, in brackets Isaac, age 6, for ideas, so I'll keep it simple. AMA 96.0. Is there such a thing as free will?"
It's a biggie.
It is a biggie. What are your thoughts, Cambe?
I think yes, because there's the different like school of thoughts on this, and I only very vaguely know what I'm talking about here.
Yeah.
like
It's a pretty deep philosophical question. Yeah.
There's like determinism and there's all kinds of schools of thought about how you live your life and
Yep.
and about whether everything is predetermined and we just live it with the perception that it's free will or whether it is actually free will.
Yeah.
And I think just for my own sanity,
Yeah.
I need to believe in free will.
Yeah.
Because if everything is a set path,
Yeah.
then you've got no control over anything, and I don't like that as an outlook.
Yeah.
But also, I think that would make me kind of complacent. Because
Right.
like, well, it's always going to happen, you know. Like this is
Well,
determined.
there's an interesting sort of corresponding thing about morality when you talk about free will, because if you don't believe in free will, then you could say that morality sort of doesn't exist because you don't control yourself.
Yeah.
So then that gives you license to do whatever you
It's-
want.
It's like, why did Nelson kick all those puppies off a cliff?
Yeah.
It was his destiny. He was always going to do that.
Yeah. I did not have free will.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have kicked more. But yeah, okay. So yeah, I think this is. Truth be told, I actually hate this question.
Okay.
Not Rowan for asking it. I hate the idea that anybody came up with this question in the first place, because I think it's such a fake concept that like free will does or does not exist. And that is to say, I mean, free will I think does exist.
Yeah.
But I think that it's just so stupid to even think about the idea that it doesn't, is why I think it shouldn't be even a question in the first place.
I understand what you're saying, but I also do understand that that's the very ethos of philosophy, which is to ask all questions, kind of,
Yeah.
no matter how silly or inane,
Okay, but I
because
see-
you should always question everything, and even though that is kind of a dumb thing to think, or even just like I
Yeah.
think therefore I am, kind of fundamentally.
No, because I think there's just a little bit more, I don't know, almost like logic behind that philosophy. I put this free will question in the same sort of concept of, and again, they actually are often intertwined, of like deities, like a god, a higher being out there, which obviously I'm an atheist, so I don't believe in those sort of things. And so, because I think that is really the only way that this question can kind of make sense, is if you say, oh, I don't believe in free will because there is a God. I sort of understand the logic of if you think that.
Yeah.
But I think if you don't think of something of a higher power then I think that this question to me really seems redundant. And I really love philosophical sort of questions and things that do ask, like, I don't know, things on consciousness and whatever. Like I think those are interesting. But for some reason, this free will one, whenever it's come up in my life, I really it doesn't resonate with me at all. I think it's such a stupid concept.
Maybe it was never destined to resonate with you.
But what does that mean?
I don't know.
Yeah, see, that's kind of my
I'm
point.
just trying to wind you up.
But that's like such a good point, because I think you like there is no logic in trying to ask this. It's like, the idea of fate, I think is sort of a silly thing as well, because it always does and does not exist. It's a Schrodinger's cat sort of thing. It's like, well, yeah, you're always going to do what you do in the future, but it's still going to depend on the things that you make in the past. I think if we could time travel, you could really test that theory.
Yeah. And
you could test the shit out of that theory.
And time travel kind of confirms that theory a little bit as well, because the future has happened.
Yeah.
And then it depends.
But then again,
it also depends what branch of time travel. Is it a time travel that splinters off into new dimensions, or is it one that goes into the past of a single dimension? If it goes into the past of a single dimension, then determinism is correct and everything is always going to happen as a certain set thing. And if it splits off, then you're making new realities every time. It gets really complicated. But since there is no proof of that, and we both like to claim that we're quite scientifically minded, without any proof, it's very hard to value it.
Yeah, that's right. But then even then, I was thinking, if you're still talking about free will and fate sort of thing, is it fate that you do, let's say in the idea of time travel, where you do something and then you go back in time and then you change that something, you could still say, well, that's fate.
Yeah, it was always going to have happened.
Because you're always going to do the one thing and then you went back in time. Like, and that's why, again, why this idea of fate and free will, I just think is nonsensical. And it's not even worth discussing. Like, I don't know.
Well,
I'm just like,
this is the first time we're ever going to have to cut something out.
But yes, anyway, that's my opinion on free will. Okay, but Cousin Rowan sent in another email. He said, after listening to your episode, I want to respond to you to your correspondent request about lemonade stands.
Okay.
He said, never seen one, but one of our friend's daughters, age about 10, set up an art stall at the end of her driveway to sell her drawings. I guess Canberra is a little more upper class. Cheers, Cousin Rowan, Canberra correspondent.
Yes.
That is such a Canberra thing. I can't explain that.
For those overseas listeners, oft the forgotten city in Australia.
Yeah.
A lot of people do assume that Sydney is the capital
of Australia.
In fact, it's a small town kind of between Sydney and Melbourne.
Yeah.
Called Canberra. That is. Yeah. Would you say sleepy? Sleepy little city. But it's also
it's where all the politicians are.
Yeah. So
so naturally where all the prostitutes are.
Yeah. And the fireworks.
Yeah. Because politicians want fireworks.
Yeah.
In only their state. But yeah, so I think it's like, yeah, how do you describe that area? It's like I'm trying to think of like an American equivalent that I can.
I mean, Washington, but Washington's a bit more exciting.
It's a bit more, yeah. That's like way bigger.
You've got monuments. There's nothing. It's very clerical, I feel, Canberra.
Canberra is boring.
There, you've done it.
I've explained it the best I possibly could.
Canberra is boring.
Canberra's boring.
We just want to announce that officially.
Yeah. When it's been announced officially, it's official.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what that was.
Though, on her.
Yeah.
Great
Art
scam.
sauce. Yeah, my
Kids
God.
Art's the worst.
But Kid Art is the worst.
I don't want it for free, let alone pay for it. Oh my God.
I got, when it was my 30th the other day, I had my nieces and nephews there at my party. And my niece at one point ran up to me. Actually, I think she was going to her mum who was talking to somebody else and noticed I was there. So then handed me her drawing. Yeah. So it clearly wasn't even for me to begin with. And
you're like, I didn't commission this.
I was like, yeah. I'm not paying a cent for it, buddy. And then, so I was like, oh, cool, put it in my pocket. I mean, she's like 3, so it's terrible. Yeah, she's 4, but it's still terrible. So I put it in my pocket, and then the next day I got it out and I looked at it, and it's on, like lined paper
Ugh.
already. It's been torn out from a notebook, so it's got the ends are like filled. Could not make out what it was.
Nelson,
At all.
thank God you didn't pay for that.
Thank God I didn't pay for this. But now, but I was still like, do I throw it out though? 'Cause I was like, oh, my niece, she's cute, and I threw it out.
Yeah.
But
Because she won't know.
there was,
Wait, does she listen?
oh my God. But still, there's that idea of it's hard to throw out.
But you had an emotional connection to that. What if it's some stranger on a Canberra street?
Yeah.
I mean, it would
And
liven up.
trying to
It
sell.
would liven up the town. Obviously, having a bit of art. So boring.
Yeah. Just like anything.
Yeah, but some young girl or young boy that you don't even know is like, give me $2 for this.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's gone straight to the bin, mate.
In fact, now that I think about it, if I saw that, I would
We should set
go
up-
up to it, light a match, throw it onto the stall,
Oh.
burn up everything.
Nelson, set up a competing stand. We're way better at drawing.
Oh, we probably are better at drawing.
So we're like, don't go to them. They don't even shade.
They color outside the lines. That is a brilliant idea. I think we should do this. Okay, that's it for another show.
Oh my God.
Thank you for writing in, Cousin Rowan and Gate Girl 5353. If you would
If
like,
that is your real name.
I think that's on her birth certificate. If you would like to write into us, you can do so. Reddit podcast, READIT podcast at gmail.com.
Yep.
You can also reach us at Facebook, at Twitter, and our subreddit. They're all READIT podcast.
One last chance, because the entries do close
Yes.
in the coming week. Join the Reddit on Reddit Secret Santa if you want to get to know some of the listeners or the small community that we've put together on this show.
Yep.
I would very much encourage you to sign up in the link that's definitely in the episode description.
Definitely in one of the
I
episode
didn't-
descriptions.
I didn't say which one.
So that closes on the 8th Australian time, which is probably the 7th for most of you American listeners. And I don't know, if
Yeah,
you're in another country, work it out.
if you're one of those people that is catching up and you hear this much later, you've missed it by a mile. Oh my God.
You've definitely sign up there.
Yeah,
Send
up.
send
I do
us
want,
a
in
gift.
like the middle of June, I do want another little notification that someone signed up.
But then they're right in time for Christmas in July.
Oh
But also, I'd really love it if you could tell me which podnapping segment
Yep.
you want next time.
Yep.
So I'm going to do Umbrella. I hardly knew her. But if you would like me to do here's a blank, there's a blank, everywhere's a blank blank, or what's the crime, Mr. Wolf, or stop or pop, or pedal to the metal.
Yeah.
Then write in and tell me which one you want, or have your own name of a podcast segment that you can send in.
Yep.
And I'll incorporate that one.
Can I ask one favor?
Yeah.
I'd love it if people bloody rated and subscribed and whatever podcast
Sorry.
app.
Rated and subscribed would be 2 different favors. You said, can I ask for
I
one
said rating
favor?
or subscribe.
Okay.
I don't want both.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Good. Because you would have to ask permission for another
Yeah,
favor.
I never would.
Be rude.
Yeah.
It would be rude. Okay, thanks for listening, and we will read you later.